Inheritance of Ash, The Secrets of Shimla. The fog in Shimla didn't just drift, it clung. Akash and Meera stood before the rusting gates of Malhotra Manor, a skeletal Victorian relic perched precariously on the mountainside. It had been 15 years since they had last spoken, a silence born of shared trauma and geographic distance. The air was thin and sharp, tasting of pine needles and the bitter metallic cold of things left unsaid. Inside the study, the scent of stale tobacco and old paper lingered like a ghost. Varun, the youngest, joined them, his eyes darting toward the heavy mahogany desk where a single silver microcassette recorder sat. The colonel didn't believe in lawyers or last testaments, Varun whispered, his finger trembling as he pressed play. A raspy, familiar voice filled the room, sounding more like a command than a farewell. "The truth is buried where the light dies first," the tape hissed through the speakers. Akash and Varun followed the cryptic instructions to the edge of the cedar forest behind the house. The trees were tall, dark sentinels that seemed to lean in, listening. Beneath the twisted roots of an ancient deodar, they found the first clue, a rusted metal locket pinned to the trunk with a jagged nail. Meera opened the locket with a snap. Inside was a faded, water-damaged photograph of a young girl from the local village, her face deliberately scratched out with a needle. The tape recorder in Akash's pocket continued to play. "You thought the night on the ridge was forgotten. You thought the screams were just the wind." Meera's hands shook as the suppressed memory of a rainy night and a sudden impact flooded back. The scavenger hunt led them further down the slope to the edge of the estate's frozen pond. Varun cracked the thin, milky ice with a heavy stone to reveal a submerged metal box tied to a pier. Meera watched in silence as he hauled it out, the freezing water dripping like black ink from his fingers. "He kept it all," Varun said, his voice cracking. "Every piece of evidence we thought he had burned for us." Akash remembered their father's face that night, stony, devoid of warmth as he took the keys to the dented car. He had told them to run, to go back to their rooms and forget they ever went out. "I am the architect of your freedom," the colonel's recorded voice echoed through the trees, "and the warden of your souls." Akash felt the weight of a decade's worth of forced silence, crushing his chest. The final clue led them to the dilapidated greenhouse, a glass tomb filled with the skeletons of dead ferns. Meera and Akash began to dig where the stone floor had been disturbed and replaced with loose soil. The earth was soft, unnervingly easy to move. With every shovel of dirt, the air grew more foul, a heavy scent of damp earth and ancient rot-filled secrets rising from the pit. The shovel hit something hard and hollow. Varun knelt beside Meera, brushing away the remaining soil with his bare hands. White bone emerged from the dark earth, a small rib cage, a fractured skull. The girl from the ridge hadn't been buried in the valley, as they were told. Their father hadn't just covered it up. He had brought the evidence home to rot beneath their very feet, a permanent anchor for their guilt. Beside the remains lay a final note protected in a plastic sleeve, written in the colonel's sharp military handwriting. "Justice is a debt that earns interest. You may keep your silence and lose your minds, or find your peace and lose your lives." Akash and Meera heard it then, the low, rhythmic wail of sirens climbing the winding mountain road toward the manor gates. The heavy gates of the manor groaned open in the distance. Varun looked at Akash, the dirt-stained shovel still gripped in his hand. The blue lights were closer now, dancing on the glass of the greenhouse like restless ghosts. Their father's final lesson was complete. The inheritance of Ash was finally burning out. "What do we tell them?" Varun asked. Akash looked at the grave, then at the road. The silence was the only answer left.